Hey everyone, good evening, happy Friday, happy weekend, TGIF. And I am definitely feeling TGIF. I am ready for some sleep this weekend. I hope everybody is having a great day. And if you have any fun plans for the weekend, I would love to hear what you guys have going on. We don't have anything exciting planned for this weekend, just sort of kick back, relax, enjoy some good family time. I love Shabbat because we have good family time. We play some games and we hang out and we have dinner together tonight. It's now getting early enough that my kids actually are up for dinner, which is nice. Sometimes it's nice, though, we are up with Friday the 13th and a full moon. And yeah, you may not be superstitious or anything, but I can tell you acting out around here, behavior around here is sure showing Friday the 13th and full moon at the same time. But that's life. That's life of having three kids, two girls who are preteen and very much showing it. The fun that goes on with that. And those of you who are parents, I'm sure can relate, or who remember what it was like when you were that age. I'm sure you can relate. But tonight I wanted to talk really quickly about what it means, and being ready to try new things, right? Life, if we live inside of our comfort zone, if we live inside of our little bubble and don't ever try new things, well, we're not going to go very far, right? It's not going to, it gets sort of boring, right? And we can't grow and we can't expand. And I'm constantly learning this, right? My entire life has been that, but really the last 3 years have been focused on that. And little things sometimes remind me of that. And today, right, I posted a picture this morning, midday, when I went to Trader Joe's of the fennel. I've been hearing people talking about fennel for quite a while, and I've never tried it. So let me tell you a little secret. 3.5 years ago when I started this program, I was not a huge vegetable eater. As a kid, I was not a huge vegetable eater. I was one of those kids that my parents had to bribe me to eat some vegetables, right? We'd go out to Chinese and I would order beef with broccoli and not want to eat any of the broccoli. I just wanted the beef. And, it was this whole thing. I had to eat this many certain number of pieces of broccoli, and it was all counted out, and it was torture for me. And now I actually like broccoli. I really like broccoli. But, right, all these things. And I was never a big vegetable eater as a kid. Vegetables in my house, sorry, Mom and Dad, I'm going to out you, but canned green beans, canned peas, canned beets, right? That was what and so I didn't grow up eating a lot of stuff like that. And now my parents are big vegetable eaters too. I don't know what it was when we were kids. Maybe it was just that we were picky and that was what my parents could get us to eat. I don't remember. I have no idea. But that's what I remember growing up on. Canned LeSueur peas and canned green beans and the whole green beans and canned beets. Like those were the vegetables that we would have at dinner. And as an adult, I've had to learn to eat vegetables. I've had to teach myself, and it took me a long time. I was a pretty picky eater, and I'm still a semi-picky eater. But when it comes to vegetables, not so much anymore. There are certain vegetables I just still won't touch. I will not have tomatoes. Tomatoes are just an off-limits no-no for me, and it's funny because my kids won't eat them either. I think they've learned that from me. So sorry, kids. But I've really had to learn to try new things. And today I was at Trader Joe's and I saw the fennel sitting there. And I've been seeing people talking about fennel for a while and roast, how they make it, whatever, and that it's so good and so good and so good. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy some fennel and I'm going to try it. No, I had no clue what it tasted like. I had no clue anything about it, right? But I bought it and I posted the picture and I said, okay, how do I make this? So people, several of you came back and, said, just slice it and roast it. So that's what I did. And I have to tell you, it is delicious. It is so good. And you know what? 3.5 years ago, I never would have done that. I never would have bought a vegetable that I wasn't sure how to do, how to make it, or if I was going to like it or whatever else. I wouldn't have. I just would have stayed away from it and stuck with my old, same olds, which I have those as well for Shabbat too. I have my green beans, I have my cauliflower, I have my delicata squash, but delicata squash is another one, right? I didn't used to like squashes and I would never try them. And a few years ago, 2 years ago, I think was the first time we bought delicata squash, and it came out and I was like, I got sort of adventurous and said, you know what, I'm going to try this. What does it hurt, right, to taste it? And now it's a favorite. And that's really so important, whether it's with food or whatever it is, right? You should always attempt something. You should always give something new. And I don't like the word try, but you should always attempt something new or taste something new if it's food, right? Step out of your comfort zone because nothing good happens in our comfort zones, right? Nothing good happens there. We have to step out. We have to experiment and explore other new things. And when we do that, that's how we grow. That's how we change, right? And it's so important to do that and to explore new things and really recognize that it's time, that change can be good. Change is really hard. I am not one that goes easy with change. But when we accept that and we start to change in small little doses, in small pieces, right? And try new things, right? In periodic pieces, that's where all of a sudden we see huge change, right? I did very small steps over the last 3.5 years. And now I look back on where I am now from where I was when I started, and I'm a whole different person, right? Today it was trying fennel, right? Which was huge. Like that's, for me, it's a big deal to try something new, right? Because like I said, I can live with my same olds, right? I am totally content with having salmon and green beans. Shabbat Shalom, Margaret. With salmon and green beans 6 days a week, and right, or 5 days a week, and then on Shabbat the chicken, and I will make the same stuff over and over and over again, and I am totally content with that. I don't need anything new or anything different. That's just how I am. And it's funny because I will get into like a pattern of making similar things over and over and over, and finally my husband will say, okay, can we make something different? And sure, I have a bazillion recipes, like, right? And then I just sort of switch it up and do something else, and that's fine. But I'm content with it. I'm fine with it, right? But when we step out of our comfort zone, when we learn to try something new, right, in any aspect of our lives, that's when huge growth happens. Baby steps, multiple baby steps turn into huge growth. And we can't be afraid of that, right? We can't be afraid of what's going to come next, right? Sometimes we don't take steps forward because we're so afraid of things. But the truth is, most of the things that we worry about, almost everything that we worry about, never actually happens, right? So that's the joy in this, though, is going forward and doing new things. Step out of your comfort zone just a little bit, right? You don't have to take a huge leap, right? But just baby steps out and see where you go. And then baby steps out and see where you go. And next thing you know, you're going to turn and you're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, look how far I got, right? I relate this to my fennel tonight, but this really goes to everything. Baby steps, little things. And there are going to be certain things, right? I took that risk that I was going to buy that fennel and I was going to roast it and say, oh, this is disgusting, right? But what would have been lost? The couple of dollars that I spent on the fennel, right? And even if that had happened, which it didn't, it's really good. Even if that had happened, right? Then, okay, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. I would have learned something new. I would have learned that I didn't like it and I wouldn't buy it again, right? So, there's always things to learn from trying new things. There's always things to learn from taking baby steps forward, right? Margaret says, exactly, I've tried so many new things since living in New Orleans. That's awesome, right? We got to do that. We got to step out of our comfort zone. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, so I know I posted last night a question, and if anybody has friends or family in either Phoenix or Las Vegas, please speak up. I know a couple people in my post did last night, but I'm going to Phoenix in the middle of November for a conference, and I have to be in Las Vegas the following weekend. So I have two choices, and they cost me the same amount. It really is going to break down the same way, right? I can fly out to Phoenix for my conference. The conference, I have to be out there on Wednesday. The conference ends and I can fly home on Sunday. But then I have to turn around and fly back to Las Vegas on the following Thursday. So I was looking at the idea of staying all week. And just flying out there on Wednesday, going to the conference through Thursday, and then either hanging around in Phoenix for a few days and then going to Las Vegas, or just going straight to Las Vegas, right? And my husband and I have been back and forth all day. It doesn't matter to him which way I do it. The cost is exactly the same, basically breaks down to exactly the same cost-wise to do it. And I actually found great room rates in Las Vegas for me to go for the weekend just to hang out in Las Vegas. But I keep saying to myself, I'm like, what in the world am I going to do in Las Vegas by myself for a week, right? And I'm not afraid to travel. You guys know that. Anybody that follows me, I love to travel. But the idea of being in Las Vegas for myself for a week sort of is, what am I going to do there, right? What am I going to do by myself, right? And so it's some of that, I think, is a little bit of fear of, what am I going to do there by myself, right? And so some of that is stepping outside of my comfort zone. There are other pieces to the puzzle. My son's birthday is in the middle of that week, and so it's being away from his birthday. I mean, there are a variety of things that are piecing it together. But part of it is a comfort zone thing, right? Part of that really is, I know what I'm doing in Phoenix, and I know what I'm doing the next weekend when I'm in Las Vegas. Actually, we are we are walking the Las Vegas half marathon like we always do for Miami, for High Lifeline, which my daughter just raised all that money for her bat mitzvah. So we're actually doing both races this year. It is not too late to donate. A shameless plug right here. It is not too late to donate to either of our races. But we are racing in the race that weekend for High Lifeline. So, the idea of flying back and forth doesn't sound so fun, right? But whatever I decide to do, I'm not going to not do it because I'm afraid of stepping outside of my comfort zone, right? It is so important that when we make a decision, when we sit down and when there are two choices in front of us, that we don't take the easy way out of something because we're afraid of taking a step forward. Taking that step forward is so important, right? Everything in life is hard. I talk about this a lot with my clients. Everything in life is hard, right? And you just have to choose what is your hard, right? We're going to talking about this in weight loss idea, right? Being overweight and miserable is really, really, really hard. I can tell you that firsthand. Getting healthy is really, really, really hard. I can tell you that firsthand too, right? But we all have to pick our hard. Every choice that we have comes with different sets of hard, right? Every single choice. It doesn't have to just do with weight loss, right? Your kids are in school, as they get older and they start to, they want to make good grades, right? That's really, really, really hard. They've got to work hard for it if they want to make good grades. For most of them, at least they do. Some kids it comes really easy, but most kids have to put in some form of effort, and it's hard, especially as they get older. They also want to have a social life and want to go out with their friends, right? And that's hard too, because by doing that, maybe they can't put in the work for school. So they have to pick their hard. What results do you want, right? For a kid in school, what results do you want? Do you want good grades, right? Is that what you want, so that maybe you get into the college that you're dreaming of, right? Or if you're in college, maybe it's to get the career that you're dreaming of. Or maybe it's the hard, you want the social piece and you don't care as much about that. But both come with consequences. Both choices are hard. Everything has two sides. Everything has a hard, and it's just picking your hard, right? And so that's where stepping out of your comfort zone and trying new things and exploring and not being afraid and not letting yourself get caught into that rut, that's where you grow. That's where your life changes. That's where you become the best you that you can possibly be, is by stepping forward and trying new things. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I got to go hop in the shower and get ready for Shabbat because it starts very soon. But I wanted to come on and just share that with you because I've been thinking about it since I bought that fennel today, right? Trying new things. What is it that what is it that you're not doing that you could be doing to try something new? Have a great night. I will see you back here tomorrow night. Unfortunately, Shabbat is starting earlier, which also means it's starting to end earlier, which means I should hopefully be able to be going live a little bit earlier tomorrow night. So hope you have a great night. If you celebrate Shabbat, have a Shabbat Shalom. If you do not, just have a wonderful Saturday, relaxing, enjoy your family, enjoy whatever you're going to do, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.